We are officially over halfway through the Self-Love 100 days to loving yourself more. And I want to thank you so much for being here. And I want you to thank yourself for being here. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror today at some point and thank her for being a part of this journey, for just being able to listen and have the opportunity to give yourself the love that you deserve. And in today's episode on the Self Love Archives podcast, I want to talk a little bit more about what is next in the last half of the Self Love 100. Welcome back to the Self-Love Archives podcast. I am your host, your self-love bestie, Julia Salvia, and I'm so grateful that you are here. And as I've said already, I hope that you are so grateful and thankful to yourself for choosing to listen to this episode and choosing to be a part of this journey, whether you are starting now, you've been at it for a couple of weeks, or you are going to start right this second from week number 1. You can start the Self-Love 100 at any point. It is not about winning. It is not about reaching a destination. It is just about loving yourself more. And in all of these episodes for the rest of 2025, I'm giving you all of the tools and all of the things that you need to do exactly that. All of these tools, all of these tools are small acts and small things that you can do to consistently choose yourself, to consistently give yourself love. And when we're able to be consistent with the things that we do for us, when we're creating these new routines and habits, we get the opportunity to trust ourselves more. We get self-trust. And that is so extremely important because when we make a promise to ourselves to keep up with something or to do something or say something, we are allowing ourselves to build trust with ourselves. And when we build trust with ourselves, we can move forward confidently, whether that's confidently into our day, into our week, into our year, into a meeting that was really getting you super nervous, or into saying something that you've been wanting to say so badly. We can provide ourselves with that confidence by just being consistent in giving ourselves more love. In giving ourselves more love, we are just trusting ourselves more by sticking to it and being consistent. I don't want you to look at the rest of this challenge or the couple of weeks that we have already completed together as necessarily adding more to that to-do list of your life. I want you to use it as a way of noticing, as a way of becoming more self-aware of who you are when X, Y, and Z is happening, and who you are when you're happy, who you are when you're sad, who you are when you're struggling, and who you are when you are giving the absolute best you can give to yourself. It is the art of noticing. That's what romanticizing your life is all about, right? It's not necessarily giving more. It's about noticing. Noticing that you actually are already giving yourself a little bit more by noticing. That you already are loving yourself more because you're just becoming more self-aware of who you are. I want to take a second for you to think about what has already been transforming within you. What has already gotten you to take a step forward, change something about your day-to-day, change something about the way that you speak to yourself. I want you to sit with that for a second. What has surprised you about yourself? What has been surprisingly easy, but you've been procrastinating on it for weeks, months, years? And what was surprisingly hard or difficult? What did you think was going to be so easy for you to continuously give to yourself, but ended up being kind of difficult, kind of challenging? Take a minute to reflect on what those are for you. A little recap on the past couple of weeks. We have decluttered our mind, our spaces, the people and the environments that we spend our most time with or in. This is going to create a place of stillness. This is going to create places of clarity. This is going to provide you with the opportunity to go into these places and spaces and environments and meetings with people with a clear head, with knowing what you want to say, being confident in what you want to do, and not allowing all of the noise to take over, and for you to truly just be able to focus on you. Then we went into hydration and nourishment, two things that are so incredibly important to actually allow our bodies to work the way that they are supposed to. Self-love is way more than just what we see on the outside when we look in a mirror. It's how we feel on the inside. And that goes with our guts, our mind, our inner and our outer bodies. So when we are hydrating appropriately, when we are nourishing our body and fueling our bodies in the ways that she needs, we are able to have the energy to actually be a part of this Self-Love 100. Now, while decluttering actually makes the space for stillness and clarity, nourishing and hydrating our bodies appropriately, this allows for the energy for clarity. And of course, with all of those things comes rest. We live in a go, go, go type of world where we're always on to the next thing. We don't actually allow ourselves to relax, to slow down, and to rest. But we need rest. We need rest in the form of just lounging on the couch. And we need rest in the form of giving our bodies a deep, healthy sleep. And without this, our body can't actually connect to itself. Giving ourselves adequate rest will actually strengthen the intuition and the self-awareness that we are able to connect to in the Self-Love 100. So once we've reached the space for clarity and the energy for clarity, when we can actually listen and see and feel all of the things that our body is telling us, when we become more self-aware and intuitive with ourselves, we have the ability to strengthen that when we actually provide ourselves with rest. Now, it's one thing to connect with our intuition, but how do we dig deeper into ourselves, to learn more about ourselves, to actually hear what our minds and our bodies are telling us? We spend more time with just ourselves. So last week, we talked about spending time with ourselves, going on a date with just yourself, going on a walk with just yourself, meditating, whatever it is, spending that 5 to 10 minutes with just you, with no outside noise, no one to interrupt that space that is you. We spend so little time with ourselves because we might think it's selfish, or we might think that it's overwhelming, or we might just not like being alone. But are you really alone? When you can spend time with yourself, you can connect deeper to that intuition that is really trying to talk to you. And then we're here. We are a little bit past the halfway point to the Self-Love 100. So taking in everything that we have been practicing over the past couple of weeks, is there something or one of the weeks that was particularly hard for you? I want you to take that week and I want you to do it for week number 9. So let's say that you were nourishing your body, you were getting adequate rest, you've really decluttered your space and your environments, even your social feeds, and you're feeling really good. But the one thing that you just can't get right, or feel as though you need more of, and your body's saying, no, I need more of it, is hydrating. Take week 9 to hydrate your body better, to give yourself what she needs. Even if it's something smaller, let's say that you haven't done such a great job at trying to declutter your social feeds. It's really uncomfortable to hit the unfollow button. And I know it sounds kind of silly. You're like, why can't I just unfollow this person? Sometimes it can get a little personal. Sometimes you don't want the other person to notice. You don't want to cause a fight or an argument or anything like that. That's totally okay. Take this week to build up the courage to be able to put yourself first in these positions. Or if unfollowing completely is too much, maybe just mute them. We have this new feature where visually it could still be, you could still be following this person, but you could just mute them. Maybe this is not the time right now to actually ingest what this person is sharing online, but you don't want to unfollow them forever. And hopefully, whether you do or not, and it's maybe someone takes notice of it, this person that you unfollowed, and they can think whatever they want to think about it. But this is your journey, this is your chapter, this is your time. And if you don't want to spend it following someone that isn't aligned with who you are today, then that's okay. And it has nothing to do with them and everything to do with where you are. I want you to visit this one thing that you might be struggling with. And I want you to revisit it with a fresh energy. I want you to look at it in a different way. If something that you were trying over the past couple of weeks isn't working, change it. If trying to chug a whole gallon of water at 8 p.m. at night and you've been waking up 2-3 times a night to go use the bathroom, change it. Maybe it means drinking more water with meals. Maybe spending time alone makes you feel guilty or makes you feel really alone. Maybe instead of taking yourself out to dinner or going on a date solo, maybe you just go for a walk. Maybe you just set some time aside to read a book that you've been wanting to get back to. Revisit week 9 and this one specific thing that you want to do better at for yourself with a fresh energy. Don't be hard on yourself about it. Reflect and ask yourself questions, though, as to why it may have been challenging. Was it challenging because of lack of time? Was it challenging because maybe it wasn't a lack of time, but maybe it was that you didn't schedule in the time? Maybe because you didn't set a good enough boundary, a boundary that you could prioritize to actually make sure that you get these things done or do these things for you. And maybe this is an opportunity this week to journal a little bit and to either voice note, type into your notes app, or actually write physically into a journal and ask yourself, what has loving myself looked like lately? How have I connected with myself deeper? What have I learned about myself? What has been difficult? What would it take and what would it look like for you to go just a little bit deeper? Look, if you have made it this far, you are already doing the work. You are already loving yourself more. If you reflect back to week number 1 when we started, I bet you that there is even if it's a sliver of you that's like, wow, I feel good, I feel better, because you are dedicating yourself to the time, to the energy of making the choice to choose you. And I am so, so, so incredibly proud of you for that. And I thank you for being here and being a part of the Self-Love 100. This has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you. I just put together this piece of paper that has 100 days on it, that has some habits and routines that I know if I was doing this all for myself, I would be so incredibly happy. And it didn't matter if I'm doing it perfectly or I'm doing it all. As long as I'm doing one of these things, as long as I'm doing something for myself consistently, and I consistently choose me, I am loving myself more, minute by minute, day after day, week after week. And reflecting back on where you are now to where you started, I cannot wait to see that double. when we look back on the very last week of the Self-Love 100 challenge. If you share anything about the Self-Love 100, whether you are documenting your journey, sharing some reflections you've had throughout this journey, or you are just feeling called to talk more about how much you're loving yourself more, please, please, please tag us. I would love, love, love to be a part of the conversation. I would love, love, love to see what you think, how you're doing, and how this journey, how this Self-Love 100 is changing your life. Thank you so much to the moon and back once again for being here. And I will see you on week number 10 when we talk about moving our bodies in ways that we love.